investment advisor representative at Gerber Kawasaki Wealth and Investment Management. Eva, nice to have you on the show. Thank you for being here. It's interesting because I saw your internally markets are as strong as they've ever been, is one of the statements within your notes. What is your overall market outlook right now?
Well, we're seeing a lot of investors fearing that sentiment might be too high. But overall, we actually have some great pillars to take into account. So, for example, we're reopening the economy. 50% of the adult population has already received their first vaccine, not to mention the fiscal stimulus that we just received. So overall, I think that the undertone of the economy is really strong. But that said, I do anticipate some volatility ahead. We've seen markets like this in 2004 and 2010, and those have always led to a little bit of choppiness. But because of the strong economy that we're seeing, I do see a second half of the year that's still strong.
So you're looking back to 2004 and 2010. It's interesting, right? Because 2010 is when we came out of the financial crisis. And that was a really tough time. Obviously, some volatility, as you said. So at what point do you say valuations are too high or sentiment is too strong?
So we always have to look at earnings, keeping in mind that are the companies actually meriting this increase in their trading price or not? And so there are certain areas of the economy we're looking where the money is going. So where the government is putting money into, whether that be the cannabis space or the semiconductor industry. At that point, that's a company that if it still goes up, I'm looking to purchase. If not, and the valuations are exceeding that, then I'd be a little concerned.
So you talked about cannabis, semiconductors. I know you have specific names for us as well today: MGM, NVIDIA, and TerraSend. Tell me about each one of those names and why those few stock picks really jump out to you.
So we really love MGM as a travel and Vegas play. So noting that international travel is still going to take a long time to come back. So you're not going to go on a cruise in the next couple months, but going to Vegas, especially with, as I said, much of the adult population getting vaccinated, that's going to start to pick up. In addition to that, MGM has only 40% of their revenue coming from Las Vegas. The other side of that is going to be stimulus money that goes into the online betting platform that they have. So we think that they're winners, both from stimulus perspective and also from the travel perspective. On the
All right, so that's a good one. I think it was in, by the way, I just want to point out, it makes sense. Yeah. The pent-up demand, I really understand, but you bring a point is that the international travel may be tricky for folks, and they are vaccinated and they're going to want to do something. And I didn't really think that out. You're right. They may go to Vegas more because it may be hard for them to travel around the world with different kinds of regulations or maybe just still some fear. Tell me about NVIDIA recently hitting a new all-time high. You like this semi name, right?
We really do. And the reason here is obviously there's a chip shortage and we're going to need more on the market to make things like cars, computers, really any machine that's out there. But NVIDIA is special in itself because it has a place in the gaming industry, in the crypto industry, artificial intelligence, self-driving, CPUs, which make it a major competitor with Intel. So overall, I really like it because not only is it a strong name in the semiconductor industry, it's also really diverse.
And last but not least, in the cannabis industry, you have TerraSend.
Yes, absolutely. So TerraSend is really a name that we love. And the reason here is, number one, last week we saw that the House just passed the Safe Banking Act. That's going to allow cannabis companies to procure funding from major banks. And so obviously it has to go through the Senate first, but it's a step in the right direction for the cannabis industry at large, which I like. I like TerraSend because they're located throughout the United States. So a lot of main cannabis players, you'll see them concentrated in Florida or in New Jersey or in Canada. TerraSend really has a bunch of locations, retail locations and cultivation centers in the US and Canada. So I think they're really poised well to capitalize here.
Yeah, it's interesting. Cannabis overall, is it something that you like as a group, or is it really picking out the winners like a name like TerraSend?
I like TerraSend, but I like the group even more because we don't know so much. So whether it's MSOS that we're taking a look at, just to have the sector at large, I think that's really important for investors to get behind, especially in the political environment that we're in.